We are pushing through the calm waters of South Australia's Lower Murray River aboard Action 3, a restored RAAF search and rescue launch. We are on our way to the Murray mouth, from the township of Goolwa to the open sea in search of dolphins, penguins and whales. At Goolwa, a steam train journeys along the riverbank taking tourists to Victor Harbour. We pass an old tugboat and the floating maritime gallery, which had been restored to their former glorious days by their owners. An aerial view shows the ferry to Hindmarsh Island. On the river, we cross its path. Goolwa is the last township before the mouth, which empties into the open seas. Steve, the skipper of Action 3, and his crew are relaxed and calm by the serenity and beauty of these sheltered waters. The era of steam lives on in the restored riverboat paddle steamers moored at the Goolwa Wharf. On weekends, the Murray River at Goolwa becomes a tourist mecca. The normally sleepy town and wharf are transformed into a bustling hive of pleasure-seeking activity. We arrive at Rankin's Landing at Hindmarsh Island Marina to fuel up for the adventure ahead, out to the open sea. This is the last fuel stop on the river. For some of the crew, this will be their first crossing of the mouth. The tavern is an ideal place to check charts and discuss final strategies for the crossing of the mouth. Skipper Steve has made several previous crossings, but each one has been quite unique, and he is unable to tell the crew what to expect. As they leave the marina, the crew is reminded of the need for caution on these waters. Recently, another skipper and his friend both drowned on the river. Despite the tranquil appearance of these waters, many a life has been lost due to misfortune. The thought of dolphins at the bow or even the sighting of a great southern right whale is incentive enough for everyone. The last barrage stretches from one side of the river to the other, controlling the flow and housing the last lock on the Murray. We enter the lock thinking that this is truly the gateway to the Murray mouth. The mouth itself is both treacherous and dangerous, and one of the most unforgiving parts of South Australia's spectacular coastline. There is an underlying tension, an anxiety about what lies ahead. We all ponder the crossing of the mouth in silent apprehension. Because once we are through the lock, we enter the waters of the Murray nearest to the sea. The lockmaster opens the gate and we are through on the seaside, and the turbulent waters of the mouth are near. Now all that lies between the boat and sea are the sandbars, breakers and currents of the Murray mouth, where the fresh water meets the sea. Rob, the first mate, replaces the blue and white Lower Murray flag with the saltwater red ensign. Inside the boat, the crew secures windows and breakable items for the crossing, placing kitchen items in cupboards and on the floor. An aircraft is ready to take off to take footage of the crossing. The crew secures the dinghy and the safety equipment is lined up and accounted for. Life jackets are donned.
Thanks Marina Goolwa. We're going through
Skipper Steve radios the marina base at Goolwa to notify them of our imminent departure through the Murray mouth.
Returning with 6 adults Sunday evening. Over.
Action 3, this is Marina Base receiving.
We are guided by a jet skier who knows the channel well. The breakers, where the river meets the sea, are in front of us now. 30 tons of Action 3 crashes and pounds through the surf. We think we're through the worst of it when a huge wave looms up ahead in the distance, relentlessly moving toward us, cresting and curling over as we meet it. As we hit the wave, the onboard cameraman jumps to cover his camera. From above in the Cessna 150, Sean films us as we crash through the largest wave of this crossing of the mouth. We're all wet, but safely through the mouth and into the swells of the open sea, ready for a first port of call, Horseshoe Bay at Port Elliot. The crew prepares to anchor in the picturesque Horseshoe Bay. In the evening, we visit Granite Island near Victor Harbour to see the penguins parade. These little creatures eat small stones to help digest their diet of mainly small marine creatures. And here one fussily picks through an array of pebbles before choosing which ones to eat. This is rush hour at the horse-drawn rail crossing, as penguins return from the sea in a small group. The ocean side of Granite Island is known for its rugged beauty. But tonight the crew is looking forward to fresh mussel soup prepared by their onboard master cook Dave. Back at Action 3 in Horseshoe Bay, the conversation is about the day and dinner and a few drinks before retiring early. For tomorrow they will trawl on, further along the coast in search of dolphins and whales. The next day they leave Horseshoe Bay at sunrise. In the galley, Dave cooks up bacon. Breakfast is consumed on deck as the crew scans the sea for signs of life. Time passes. There are no signs, only the ghostly swinging of the cupboard door in the galley. But Rob has not given up. He scans the sea and signs of life appear. A deep sea dolphin rises out of the water, swimming up to the boat. He's happy to play for a while and is joined by other friends. Dolphins skip in and out of the slipstream of the bow, seeming to guide the boat on invisible ropes. experiences shared, recounted and recaptured at Horseshoe Bay as we prepared to meet the Murray Mouth again. We had not seen the whales which had been sighted at Victor the day before, but suddenly the skipper alerted us to their presence. In the distance, near the coast, a mother and her baby were basking near the shore. A rare glimpse of an endangered species, and though we were overawed, we were careful to keep our distance so as not to disturb their fun. Our camera lens thankfully allowing us to be even closer than we really were. Eventually, like the dolphins, the whales disappeared below the surface of the sea. The mouth and the tide did not allow us to dally for too long. Our adventure into the open sea had rewarded us richly with glimpses of sea life both beautiful and rare, but the Murray Mouth might not be so generous. We prepared ourselves for the crossing back into the Murray River, a sobering thought after such elation. A jet skier was once again our guide. Steve got up on his seat for a better view of the elusive deep channel. Which way would he go? More to the right or dead centre? We all trusted in his judgment. Seawater was dappled like jewels in an encrusted crown, and the breakers seemed harmless from a distance. But this was the hardest part coming up. Where would the deep channel be today? The breakers turned into bubbling torrents of turbulent surf. Steve unfortunately caught the boat on a wave which carried us onto a sandbank. The boat rocked from port to starboard and back again, burying the rudder and the propeller deeper into the muddy sandbar. A wave lifted us up until we cleared the sandbar. We were all terrified that we might have to abandon the boat to the elements and risk the turbulent surf in the dinghy. Happily, we ended our adventure on the sea, all in one piece, and thankfully we greeted the quiet waters of the Lower Murray once again.